Hi, Babby, it's me. Hello. As you know, I'm away visiting Grandma, right? So I said I'll make you some videos to help with your homework, okay? So today should be the first one. So today is lesson 13, homework, okay? And in this is multiplying unit fractions by unit fractions, okay? Which is, as you know, let's make one up, times 1/5, right? So as you know, when we multiply, we just go straight across, right? So let's just solve this. So we do 1 times 1 equals 1. 4 times 5 equals 20. So 1/4 times 1/5 equals 20, yes? 1/20th. But unfortunately, we cannot do that. We're going to just use that to check, right? So in this one, you should have learned in class today is to use your rectangle, okay? And you cut it up and do whatever you need to fill out to get the answer, right? So what we'll be doing, we'll be using the rectangle to solve all your homework problems. And just wanted to let you know, anytime you see this word of, is a key word, and of means multiply, yes? So anytime you see this word, it means you have to multiply. And the other thing we'll need is, what I recommend you do is get yourself a colored pencil as well as your regular pencil. Make sure they're nice and sharp. So when you pause the video and go get set up with a colored pencil and a regular pencil, because I'll show you what we'll need this for. It'll make things go a lot easier. Okay? So pause the video for a second. Okay, let's start. Okay. Now, here's homework. And that is, so you can fill out your name and stuff, alright? But we'll start, okay? So now, what does it say? It says, draw a rectangle fraction model to show your thinking, okay? So it says 1/2 of half a cake. So we know what half equals what? How do we write half as a fraction? 1 over what? 1/2. Very good. So we need 1/2 of 1/2 of a cake. Alright? So let's draw our cake. Unfortunately, we can't draw a round cake, so we draw a square cake or a rectangle cake, okay? Now you got lots of room, so make it big so you can see when you cut it up, okay? So we need 1/2. So how do we make a half? We split it in 2, yes? And then we'll label this 1/2. Okay, there you go. Now, this is where the colored pencil comes in handy. So, it makes it easy to see. So, just shade in the 1/2 that you want. Yes? Okay, there we go. So, now, we need 1/2 of this half. So, how do we do that? We do what? We split that in 2, yes? So, we split that in 2, right down the middle. And we label that 1/2 as well. So it's 1/2 of half of a cake, yes? So now we need to find this portion here, right? How much this is. So let's just continue where we split it. Let's continue the line all the way across. And this will tell us how much this section is of the whole cake, yes? And how many squares do you see? Well, we know we have 2 up and 2 down. There's 2 ways to do this. You have 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. So we know 2 times 2 is 4. Or we can just count, right? So we just 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know that, and out of the 4 we have 1. So this little section here, half times half, is 1 of 4. 1 out of 4. So we know that 1/2 of 1/2 equals 1/4. Can you see that? It's hopefully it's not blurry or anything. Maybe my pencil is not. So that's 1/4. Yeah? Can you see that? Okay, so we check with multiplication. So we go 1/2 times 1/2, because of means times, equals, and we go straight across. Right? We go 1 times 1 is 1. And 2 times 2 equals 4. So it is 1/4. That's your answer, yes? Okay? So let's go on to the next one. Right? So it says 1/3 of half a cake, right? So how do we write 1/3? What is 1/3? It's 1/3. You got it, okay? So here we go with another rectangle cake, yes? Don't worry about that. So we need to split it in half again, yes? And we label that 1/2. Okay, so colored pencil again and color in that. Doesn't have to be perfect, just so you can see what you need, right? So now it's 1/3. So how many times do we have to split this to make 1/3? We have to split it in how many pieces? 3 pieces. So we go 1, 2, 3. So we label one of these pieces is 1/3. So we label it 1/3. So we need to find this piece down here, and that'd be 1/3 of 1/2. So, but we need to find out how many pieces, what part of the whole thing it is. So let's continue the lines across, and then now we can count how many pieces we have. Well, we have 1, 2 across, and we have 1, 2, 3 up. So we know 3 times 2 is 6, right? Or we can count it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So therefore, we have 1 out of 6. So 1/3 times 1/2 equals, we should use the word of, equals 1/6. So we check with multiplication. 1/3 times, because of means times, 1/2, and we just go straight across, yes? 1 times 1 is 1, 3 times 2 is 6. So 1/6. So the answer is 1/6 cake. Okay, so when you pause the video for a while and see if you can do the next couple by yourself, yes? Okay? And meanwhile, I'll continue doing them. So pause the video and try the next two. Hopefully mommy's with you. Make sure mommy's with you to kind of keep an eye on it. Okay? Okay, so the next one is 1/4 of 1/2, right? So what does of mean? That means times. Very good. So let's draw our rectangle. Remember, we got lots of room, so we can draw it pretty big, yes? So we got to do another half again. And then we label that 1/2, yes? Hope you can see this. This looks a little blurry to me, but hopefully you can see it, yes? And then we'll color it, yes? So we color it, and that is our 1/2, right? Now we need to find out 1/4 of that. So if you want to find fourths, how many times do we split this up? Into how many parts? You got it, 4 parts. So let's go down, split it in half first, then each half in half. And we get 4 nice even spots, right? So we need one of these, which is 1/4, and we label that 1/4. Okay? So we need to find this section down here, 1/4 of the whole of 1/2. Okay? But we need to find out how many pieces in the whole cake. So we continue our lines across. Okay, so like I said, we need to find out how many pieces in the whole thing. So you can do 2 ways. We know we have 1, 2, 3, 4 this way, and 1, 2 across. So 4 times 2 is 8, or we can just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But it's just easier to multiply. So we know 1/4 of 1/2 equals 1/8. Yes? And we check with multiplication. So 1/4 times, of means times, 1/2 equals 1/8. 1/8. 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, so that equals 1/8. So on to the next one. We're moving along really fast. So we need 1/2 of 1/5. And when it comes to multiplication, it's still the same way. So if it was 1/5 of 1/2, it's still the same thing. So the numbers don't change, but in this case it's 1/2 of 1/5. Right? So first we do our rectangle, and then we split it into 5 pieces. So let's see if we can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we label this. So we need 1/5. So we label this 1/5. So where's your colored pencil? There you go. Just coloring very lightly. We don't have to do it. Very good. Now, okay. So now we need half of that. So how do we split this in half? We put a line where? Right down the middle. Yes? And this is 1/2. Yes? So now we need to find this right here. So 1/2 of 1/5. So how do we find out how many boxes in the whole area? So we just continue the line all the way across. Yes? So we know we have 1, 2 times 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know we have 10 boxes, right? Or we can just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So we have 1 box out of 10, and that equals 1/10. So we can write, oh, where am I going? We can write 1/2 of 1/5 equals 1/10. Yes? And we check with math, so we go 1/2 times, because of means times, right? 1/5 equals, and we multiply straight across. So 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 5 is 10. So it is 1/10 equals 1/10. Okay, so we move on to the next one. Yes? And that is 1/3 of 1/3. Okay, so we draw a rectangle. And if it's 1/3, so how many pieces are we going to cut that into? How many? You got it, 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. And how many pieces of that do we need? We need 1 piece. So we get 1 piece, and that's 1/3. Okay? Now, so let's let's color that. And see how much easier it is with the colored pencil? Now you can see exactly what you need. Okay, very good. So now we need 1/3 of this 1/3. So how do we get that? So we have to cut this into how many pieces? 3 pieces. So we go 1, 2, 3. And we need 1 piece, so we label this 1/3 as well. Okay. So we have to find this box here. So how do we find it? So we need to find out how many boxes in this whole thing. So all we do is continue the line all the way across. And we know we have 1, 2, 3 this way, and 1, 2, 3 that way. So 3 times 3 is 9. Or we can count the boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we know that 1/3 of 1/3 equals 1/9. So we check with multiplication. It says 1/3 of means times 1/3 equals. So we multiply right across. See my arrows? 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 3 is 9. So the answer equals 1/9. Okay? And last one on this section. So we're going to draw our rectangle again. I have to leave some room to write on the side. I'll write it down at the bottom this time, right? So we have 1/4 of 1/3. Okay, so let's find what first. We'll split it into 3, right? Because we need 1/4 of this, okay? So if you want to make this thirds, how many times do we split it up? Into how many pieces? 3 pieces. So we go 1, 2, 3. And remember, make the boxes big enough, Babby, so you can see what's going on, right? So we need to do one of these. So that's 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. So we only need one. So put a label, and what do we label this? Label it 1/3. Very good. Get our colored pencil, and we shade it in, just light and light, so we can see what we need to do. Okay? Alright. So now we need 1/4. So how many pieces do we need to split this into to make it fourths? That's right, 4 pieces. So easy way to do fourths, go start in the middle, split that in half, then say split this side in half, and then this side in half. Stay nice and even. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we label 1 as 1/4. Okay? Now what do we need? We need to find this box down here. Just one of these sections, or one of these units, yes? So what we do, we continue our lines across. 1, 2, 3. Now how many boxes do we have? So we know we have 1, 2, 3, 4 this way, and 1, 2, 3 that way. So we have 4 times 3 is 12, or if we're not sure, we can always double check by counting. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 1/4 times, well, they don't have the of, right? So we can just write it one time. Of 1/3 equals, so we just multiply, we check in our answers. So 1 times 1 is 1, 4 times 3 is 12. And that's done with the first sheet, okay? So I hope you can see that it looks slightly blurry, but you should be able to see that, yeah? Let me see if I can get some more light. 1 second. And see if that helps. I'll put some more light on, okay? Alright, so now we're on to sheet 2. So let me get sheet 2. And can you read that one? Well, you can read along on your paper, okay? So, main thing with the word problems, we have to set it up right. So what do we have now? So it says, Noah mows 1/2 of his property and leaves the rest wild. He decides to use 1/5 of the wild area for vegetables, a vegetable garden. What fraction of the garden is used? What fraction of the property is used for the garden? Okay? Alright. And it says draw a picture to support your answer. Okay? So, we have Noah's property, yes? So let's say this is his whole property. Now remember, Babby, draw your boxes big so you can see what's going on, right? So he mows 1/2, right? So we know that the rest is wild, that's also 1/2. Okay? So he mows 1/2, so let's put it down a line down the middle, and we write this, see? He mows, M-O-W-S, right? And this is the wild, yes? Because that is, if we use this, if we mowed this portion, then that's what's left. We mowed 1/2, right? So now, so we know this, we can label this 1/2. Because he mows 1/2, and then the rest is wild, so that means the wild section is 1/2 of the whole property. Okay? So we've done that. So here comes our colored box. Because he's going to use 1/5 of the wild area for a vegetable garden. So let's color this in. Alright? And our key word here is of, and what does of mean? Of means multiplication, right? Okay, so how do we find 1/5? How many pieces do we have to split this into? We have to split it into 5 pieces. So let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need to find 1/5 of half the property, which is the wild side, okay? So we need to find this area, yeah? So we label this 1/5. Okay? So we need to find out how much of the whole property is. So what do? We continue, very good, we continue our lines all the way across. Right? So now we know we have 2 this way, 1, 2, and we have how many are going up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know 2 times 5 is 10. Or we can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But all we need is, so we have 1 piece out of how many? 10. So we know 1/2 times 1/5 equals, we just multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 5 is 10. So you used 1/10 of the property is used for the garden. Very good. So take a little time to think about that, okay? All right. So problem number 2 is Fawn plants 2/3 of a garden with vegetables. Her son plants the remainder of the garden. He decides to use half of his space. Well, let's start again. Fawn uses 2/3. I forgot to circle the numbers, okay? Of the garden for vegetables. Her son used the remainder. That's the key word. So we have to find out how much is left once she's used 2/3. He decides to use half of his space, half of the remainder, because the remainder is his space, to plant flowers, and the rest to plant herbs. What fraction of the entire garden is planted in flowers? Okay? All right. So let's look at this. So Fawn plants 2/3. Okay? So let's draw the whole garden. Remember, Babby, draw it big so you can see what's going on, right? So we got plenty of room, so we can draw it nice and big. Okay, so if she used 2/3, so how many pieces do we have to split it up into? What's the point? Into 3 pieces. 1, 2, and she used how many? So Fawn, this is Fawn, right? If I can spell it, you probably can't see it. So her son, so Fawn uses this, which is 1, 2. She uses 2/3, so that leaves the remainder is 1/3. So we can label this 1/3. Right? So we can color this. And that's the beauty of the colored pencil, right? So the remainder is 1/3, which goes to the son, and he used how much? 1/2 of it to plant flowers, and the other half to plant herbs. So how do we make this half of this? We draw a line down the middle. Very good. And we label this 1/2. Yes? So we need to find out what this is. So how do we do that? We need to find out how much of the whole piece. So we continue the line all the way across. And then we can either count the boxes or multiply. So we have 1, 2, 3 this way, and 1, 2 that way. Okay, it's 3 across and 2 up and down. Okay, so that's 3 times 2 is 6. or we can count the boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 1 piece out of 6. So that's 1/6, right? So we know 1/3 times 1/2, or it's the same if we do 1/2 of, so the way it's set up is 1/2 of 1/3. And we multiply it and it equals 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 3 is 6. Same thing here. If we do this, because I wrote it backwards, but it's okay if you do that. 1 times 1 is 1, 3 times 2 is 6. So it still equals the same, okay? And last one for today, yes? And I hope this is not blurry. I hope you can see what I'm writing, yes? Because it still looks a little blurry to me. Okay, let's see. Diego eats 1/5 of a loaf of bread each day. On Tuesday, he eats 1/4 of the day's portion before lunch. What fraction of the whole loaf does Diego eat before lunch on Tuesday? Draw a rectangle fraction to support your thinking. Okay, so he eats 1/5 every day, yes? And on Tuesday, he eats 1/4 of the portion. So he eats 1/4 of 1/5, yes? Because he eats 1/5 every day. So Monday eats a fifth, Tuesday eats a fifth, Wednesday eats a fifth, Thursday, and so on down the week. So let's draw our box to show our thinking. So remember, we got lots of room, so we can draw it a bit nice and big, yes? So we can see. Okay? So even though this is written, so he's going to eat, we start here. So he eats 1/5 every day, right? So how many pieces we need to split this into? 5 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 1 piece, right? So we need 1/5, and we label this 1/5. So use our colored pencil, and we color it in, yes? And he eats 1/4 of that piece, okay? So if you want to split this into quarters, how many times do we split it up? We split up 4 times, right? So we start in the middle, split this one in half, split that one in half. So we have 4 pieces, nice even pieces, right? So we need 1 piece, so we label that 1/4, yes? So we need to find what this is, okay? And how we do that? We continue our lines all the way across. 1, 2, 3. Then we need to find out what this one is out of all of these, okay? So we know we have 1, 2, 3, 4 this way, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 this way. So 4 times 5 is 20. Very good. Or we can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we know 1/4, right, times 1/5, which is the same as 1/4 of 1/5, yes, equals, and we just multiply this way, and 1 times 1 is 1, 4 times 5 is 20. And that's your homework for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow for lesson 14. Okay? Love you. Bye, baby.